So we're going to start from transactions. And we are going to create a new transaction. Here's a mistake that a lot of people make. And I told Crystalline already this. When you create a template, please lock them, lock the template. Because what happens is most agents, when they start an offer, they go to the template and they change the template. And once the template is changed, I'm sorry, it's changed. There's nothing we can do. We got to delete it and start from scratch, right? So I told Crystalline to lock the templates, okay? But regardless of that, you never touch the templates. Once they're created, just leave them alone. Don't touch them. What you need to do is you need to go into transactions, and you need to start with a new transaction. So you click on new, and then you go to new purchase. In this case, it's a purchase, right? You type the name of the person. So I'm going to call him Ricardo Maduro, my pseudonym. You don't need to put the property address because once you connect to MLS Connect, which by the way, MLS Connect is a subscription from Zipforms, it is inexpensive. I think it's like $47 a year, but it saves you a ton of time if you're making multiple offers a year. So you should have that interface already, because if you don't, you're gonna have to fill everything by hand, and that's not the right way to do it. So just pay the 47 bucks or whatever the cost is, and have MLS Connect. Okay. So now I am going to paste the MLS ID. Do you want to include the photo? Yes. I'm gonna find the property. Okay, that's the property. I'm gonna use the listing, and the address is right there. That is not going to be here, but it's going to be right there. Then you go to residential, if it's a residential purchase, obviously. Then you go to my templates, select the buyer package template, and save. So far, so good, right? 1, 2, 3. 3 steps. Now it's creating the package. Once it creates a package, you go into documents. The only thing that I use in Zipforms. Zipforms, by the way, has a lot of things that you can use. A lot. But the only thing that I use is documents. I don't fill out anything here. I don't do anything there. I don't touch any buttons. All I use from here is documents and e-sign. That's basically that. So I'm going to go into documents here, and you will see that all your templates are already there. Now, all of the templates that you need in the transaction are already there. But guess what? You don't need any of them. All you need is the California Purchase Agreement. Or if this is a residential income property, a multi-unit property, you need the residential income. Or if it's a probate, you need the probate advisory, because they used to have a probate purchase agreement, but they don't have it anymore. Everything is included in the purchase agreement. You just need the probate advisory. And if it's in a trust, you need the trust advisory. It used to be that we have different contracts for probates and trusts. Now we don't. We only have one single contract. It's for single family, and another contract for units, and that's the residential income. Other than that, we have the trust advisory and the probate advisory. Now, I'm going to show you something else. So let's say, for example, that you went to documents and you see nothing there. Let's say there's no documents there, all right? Because you forgot to apply the template, right? What you need to do is you need to go to that button that says apply template, and you can actually apply it from within the transaction. You go to the summary page. So if you don't find any documents, under documents, you go to the summary page, and you see this button that says apply template. You can apply the template after you created the transaction if you forgot to do it at the beginning. I want to mention that because you don't have to start all over again. So you can apply the template. Now, if we go to documents here, we go to the cover page right here, and I'm going to show you in the cover page. Remember, we created the transaction. We connected to MLS Connect to download the property data. We have a template that was applied into the transaction. All of those three things already happened. Does that make sense? What is left to do? I'm going to show you how easy it is to put a transaction together. All you need to do is put the buyer's name, because obviously the system doesn't know who the buyer is. So I'm going to put here Ricardo Maduro. And the email address is ysolarus@yahoo.com, which, by the way, this is my junk email. So if you ever email there, I'm not going to get it. Never going to get it. Don't even try. Solarus, okay? Now we put the name of the buyer. We put the email address. Do you have to fill out all this information? No, don't. Don't waste time. You're not going to need it. It's not going to be useful to be there. All you need is the buyer's name and the email address. That's for e-sign to know who to send the document to. Owners on title, we already talked about this. That's perfectly fine term. That's fantastic. Property information. Now the property information is there. Do you see that? Because we connected through MLS Connect, all the property information is already there. Not only that, all the listing information is already there. And your information is already there because that was part of the template. Does that make sense? So what is there to do in this page to build a contract? All you have to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, purchase price, purchase agreement date, offer date, expiration if you want, you don't have to, total amount finance. If you fill these items right here, the offer is completely built. How is that complicated or difficult? It's not, right? Because we're using MLS Connect and we're using the templates that we created. So let's do this. Purchase price. I don't know what the purchase price is. I'm just going to put something in there. Okay? Purchase price $500,000. Purchase date today. Offer date today. Earnest money deposit $5,000, whatever. All right? Total amount of money finance. That's the purchase price minus the down payment. So let's say they're bringing $100,000 down payment. Total amount finance is going to be $400,000. That's it. It's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. That's all you need to put in there. Does that make sense? Now, if we go to the offer now, we go back to the offer. It automatically saves, but I would recommend that you click save every time because just to be sure. Now we look at the offer. Let's start with the offer, right? The name of the buyer has already been included. Your name is already in the template, so it's already there. Property address is already there because it was included in the MLS Connect. Date of the offer is already there. Name of the buyer, property address, APN number, all of that information came from the MLS. Listing agent information, that information came from the MLS, including the license numbers. You see how easy this is? You don't have to type anything. Everything is already there. Now we have purchase price $500,000, 30 days after acceptance because that's what the template says. Initial deposit $5,000, loan amount $400,000. The calculation is already there. All the information, if you want to change it, you can change it. If not, you can leave it as is. All that information is already there. All that information is already there. All that information is already there. So I'm here to tell you that if it's taking you more than 10 minutes to write an offer, I can do it in 5. And if my computer is happy and my internet is happy, I can do it in 3. Why? Because I had a lot of practice. Because I've done it so many times, it becomes second nature. Does that make sense? Why tennis players practice every day, practice every day, practice every day? Why? Because then it becomes second nature. Baseball players. I told my brother the other day, because they're in softball right now, I told my brother, I said, I don't know if I could ever do baseball. You know, in a professional baseball players don't even see the ball. The ball is coming too fast. They don't see it. True story. They don't see it. What they see is how the pitch is done. That's what they see. And based on muscle memory, based on how the pitcher is throwing the ball, they cannot have an idea where the ball is going to land. And they adjust their position based on that. Because they cannot see the ball. The ball will hit my face every time, I tell you that. I'll be like, oh no! But that is a true story. That's a true story. Baseball players don't see the ball. They see the position of the pitcher. They see how the pitch is done. They calculate in their head how the ball is going to come, and they adjust their position to try to hit the ball. And all of that is muscle memory. Why? Because they have done it a million times. Does that make sense? So here's my next advice to you. If in your lifetime in real estate, you're going to be representing buyers, start writing offers. Fake offers for fake properties, for fake buyers. Create an account and send it to yourself. So you learn the process, because typically this is what happens. Somebody calls you, that guy that told you 6 months ago that wanted to buy a house and you sent him a bunch of properties and never did anything, he calls you at 6 p.m. and he says, guess what? I just went and visited the house that I want to buy. I need you to write me an offer right now, because tomorrow morning they're going to present the offers at 8 o'clock in the morning. And that's what's going to happen. I promise you that's what's going to happen. Micaela, true story, right? At midnight, we're writing an offer because at 8 a.m. in the morning, we're going to present the offers. And we presented the offers, and they won it. And she got an escrow. And she closed escrow. And she got paid because of that. But here's the thing, though. And I don't mind. You call me 10, 11 p.m. at night, help me put the offer to that. I don't mind that. I don't care. But the point of the matter is that I want you to learn. This is a teaching brokerage. I want you guys to learn to do it on your own. Does that make sense? Yeah, you're like my children. I taught them everything that I know so I can kick them on their ass out of the house. Go do your stuff because you don't need me anymore, right? That's what this is about. Within 3 minutes, you can get an offer done and send out. Here, so now here's my other point. Let's talk about the other point that I'm trying to make here. When you're working with buyers, the longer you work with a buyer, the less committed they are at buying property. Remember that. The longer you work with a buyer, the less committed they become at buying property. I'll tell you the reasons why. Because doubt starts to creep in. Because boredom starts to creep in. Because disillusion starts to creep in. If you're showing properties to a buyer, here's typically how it works with buyers, right? You get a buyer, you got them approved, they're all excited. Anybody had excited buyers? Everybody does, right? They're all excited, right? They can't wait to go see properties, right? And then naive agents who haven't been in the business for a while, they'll probably show them 50 properties, right? Which is a mistake on its own. You don't show anybody 50 properties. If you show them 50 properties, quite honestly, you don't know what they're looking for. You really need to figure out what they're looking for, because the reality is, and I'm going to put it from a consumer's perspective, because a consumer told me this, and this is true. He says, I had agents that they said they're going to help me, and all they do is they put me on an auto email. They send me a bunch of properties that have nothing to do with what I'm trying to buy. They're not really helping. So he says, I want somebody that I tell you exactly what I'm looking for. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I want you to find it. I want you to show it to me. I want you to make the offer, and I want you to get me in escrow. And that's the goal of the buyer, right? So here's the thing. Naive agents that haven't been in the business for a long time, this is what happens. First of all, they show way too many properties, in my opinion. Because if you're showing way too many properties, it's number one, because you don't know what they're looking for. And sometimes they don't even know what they're looking for, right? At the end of every showing, Mona, this is true, right? This is what you do. Mona does this. At the end of every showing, okay, let's stop. Before we go into the car, whatever, let's talk about this house. Let's talk about this house. Did you like it? Are you ready to make an offer? And if you didn't like it, why you didn't like it? Whatever they tell you they didn't like at the property becomes a note on your book. Oh, they don't like that it doesn't have a big backyard. Okay, now I need to look for big backyards. Does that make sense? So what you do is you basically show them 3 or 4 or 5 properties on the first day. Based on the opinions regarding those properties that you show them, you need to narrow your search. And yes, I understand what you're going to say. There's not a lot of inventory. Believe me, I know, right? But here's in the perfect world how it's supposed to work, right? Then you go the second time to show them the properties, but the second time you're only showing them the properties based on the characteristics that they told you. Isn't that correct, Adrian? That's what we do, right? Based on the characteristics they told me. Big backyard, big front yard, I need RV parking, I need solar panels, I need this, I need that, blah, 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 blah. And you only show them that 5 properties that match that criteria. At that point in time, they should be making an offer on one of those properties. Does that make sense? But if they don't make any offers because, oh, we didn't like this, we didn't like that, we didn't like the neighbor, we didn't like the dog next door, whatever, right? By the third time you show them properties, this is the end. By the third time you show them properties, you should already be committed on a property. If they're not committed on a property, a couple of things are going to happen. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The first thing that's going to happen is they're going to start thinking that you don't know what you're doing, because it's always your fault. By the way, it's always your fault. I don't know if you realize this. It's like a marriage. It's always your fault. It's like a marriage. Like a marriage. Yeah, you get the point, right? You get the point. We've been there. We've been there, done that. Yeah. We're still there. We're still there. So this is working with buyers is like a marriage, right? So the first thing they start thinking is that this is your fault and you don't know what you're doing. That's the first thing. So they start doubting you. Second thing that happens is that they start getting bored with the properties you're showing them. Oh my God, this house looks like the other one. It looks like the other one we just saw, and things like that, right? And then they start getting disappointed. They start getting disappointed because they're not finding what they're looking for, because what they're finding is too expensive, because what they're finding is not matching their criteria, etc. And little by little, after that third showing, the third day that you went showing properties, they start doubting themselves whether or not they have the ability to buy a property, to get into a home, to find what they're looking for. Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe we should wait a little bit longer. And all of these thoughts starts coming in. They start kicking in, correct? You need to avoid that at all costs, which means the following. This is which means the following. This is what it means. I always say the first offer that a buyers make is the hardest offer to make because there's so many doubts in their mind. Am I doing the right thing? Is this the right time to buy it, etc. So you need to get them to make offers as fast as possible and as many offers as possible. And I'll tell you the reason why. The more offers you make, the easier it becomes to make an offer. The easier it becomes. So when I show them properties, when Mona and I show them properties, I always encourage them to make offer on the property, even if they didn't like it. As they start making offers on properties, they're getting comfortable with the idea of making offers, and then getting comfortable with the idea that it may take a few offers before you get something accepted. So there is a certain level of acceptance that comes in when making several offers on several properties because they know, and you already told them, hey, you know what? You're probably not going to get it, but guess what? Let's just make the offer and see what happens, right? Getting buyers to submit offers with you keeps them committed. It keeps them grounded. I don't know how to explain it, but that's typically how it works. If you keep making offers on properties, if you show them five, make offer on three. Like Mona says, we show them five, make offer on three. That's typically how the way we work it, right? Show them five, make three. Show them five, make three. Show them. If they continue making offers on properties, right? It keeps them committed. It keeps them committed. In a way, I don't understand why, but that's the way it works, right? They feel like they're accomplishing something, even though they're not. They're accomplishing something, right? They figure that if we continue doing this, sooner or later somebody's gonna say yes. Does that make sense? But if you show properties and you show properties and you show properties and you show properties and you're not writing offers, they're gonna get discouraged. They're gonna get discouraged. You're gonna lose them. You're gonna lose them. I'm telling you from experience, from personal experience. I'm telling you that's exactly what happened. So writing offers is important. Now, but also it is important that if you're writing offers and if you're writing as many offers as we write, because when Mona works with a client, I am not kidding you, we write offers every day, every single day, two, three offers. Every single day we write our offers. You need to learn how to write up offers fast because you cannot be spending 2, 3 hours writing offers. That's going to take too much time. That consumes too much time from you. You need to learn how to do it in less than 5 minutes. So that way, offer is done, boom, committed, send. I CC the listing agent so they get a copy of it, etc. Right? And you start doing that. So this is the process that we follow. MLS Connect. If you don't have MLS Connect, get it. You're gonna need it. Get it. It's not that expensive. Last time I think I paid $47 for the year. It's not that expensive. Maybe it's a little bit more expensive right now. I don't know. MLS Connect. The templates. Get the templates. Ask Crystalline to create the templates for you so you have them. Somebody asked me also the other day, can we create a template for commercial? Yeah, we can create a template for whatever you want. We have the list of all the required documents per transaction. It's actually, by the way, if you don't know this, it's in the CAR website. If you go to car.org, just type forms needed for transaction or something, it's going to give you a list of all the forms that you need per transaction. Now, for our transactions, residential properties, residential income, and so on, we have already the templates. If you want a specific one for businesses, for commercial, for whatever, we can create that for you as well. Okay? Yes. You don't need a specific license to sell commercial, no. Now, the challenge with commercial is that you need, for the most part, you need access to the commercial MLS system, which is called LoopNet or CoStar, and it's $450 a month. A month. Yeah, it's like 5,000 a year. For the most part, I referred out any commercial deals to somebody else, get my referral fee, 25% referral fee, because I don't get enough commercial in my lifetime to really pay $500 a month for using CoStar. I just don't get enough deals. Zipforms has been evolving since it was created. So there's always going to be new things coming up in Zipforms. There's going to be classes about it, and we're going to be doing updates in Zipforms and things like that. But for right now, this is what it is. All right, this is it for today. I will see you again in our next training. Until next time, have a blessed day.